Hey everyone, we're back at it with another Cash or Trash episode. This is a pair that we also did a recraft on. It's the Freebird Cassius style. Nice tall boot where we did a full rubber Vibram sole with new leather stacked heel bases. So if you want to check out the full recraft video beforehand, I'll leave a link in the description below. Otherwise, check out the Cash or Trash ratings. So thank you for joining us. Full disclosure, we do actually work with Freebird fairly close. We have for many years, doing a lot of their repairs as well. But I'm still going to give it an honest review and everything. So I'm pretty sure that Freebird may be happy with it, or they may get angry, but hopefully they don't get too angry with me. But we'll go ahead and start out with saying Freebird does make a number. So it's Freebird by Steve Madden, technically, is what it is. So it can be called also a Steve Madden, but it's Freebird by Steve Madden is the branding on it. And just in that one category, they actually have a huge variety of builds and styles. And by builds, I mean different construction completely from this particular pair. This pair here is a Goodyear Welted one, meaning that the sole is stitched partially. So this one's stitched around just right in this area where half of the ball of the foot is, and then towards the back it's all adhered and nailed. It's adhered all across the board, but the back area is held in mainly by nails and everything. So for this particular video, we're going to say that this is a Freebird model that is Goodyear Welted, even though it's only a half welt. They don't really do a 270 degree or a full welt or anything like that. But let's kind of dive into it and start breaking down. I do have the original sole as well, so we'll kind of cover that too. So let's start out with the material qualities. Now, material qualities overall, I mean, they do use some great leathers and everything. They're not the highest quality, like premium, that is dedicated for like shoes that or boots that are worth thousands of dollars and everything, but they are still, for the price point, very good quality. There are a few drawbacks that I'm not very happy about that they use, and that can almost fall into the build quality, not just material quality, but these heel bases that they use. Majority of the time, at least on this style, they used a plastic one, and then they take a leather and then they wrap it. They use sometimes also wood bases, which aren't really any better. They're actually a little bit weaker than even the plastic ones, and they still wrap it. So there's a little bit of a dilemma there with that, you know, you're gonna beat up that heel. As you can tell with this one, there are chunks that are kind of ripping out and everything like that. That's why on this pair we had replaced the heel bases with solid leather stacked heel bases, where we actually layered each layer of leather. So again, if you want to check that out in the repair video, you definitely can. For material quality, they're still fairly up there. It's just that's the one dilemma that a lot of people are going to have a lot of issues, is those heel bases or heel blocks if you have a taller designed heel for one of the Freebirds. So material quality, I'm gonna give them probably about, just because everything else is still great, I'll still give them an 8 on that. Build quality, I'm gonna drop that down to probably a 7, just because there are sometimes little hiccups here and there, and just the way that things may be assembled and may be a little funny sometimes. But otherwise, compared to other boots and shoes out there that are in that same price tier, same design and everything like that, these are still a good step up significantly compared to things in that same price level. Comfort, that's going to be a debatable thing. For some people, unfortunately, Freebird are just not comfortable at all, just because they're a taller heel. We shorten heels down on them all the time, basically, whether it's one of their sandal models or one of their boot models like this. So comfort is going to be a huge debatable thing, because I have some people that say they're the most comfortable thing in the world and can wear them all day long. Some people who can't even take 10 steps in them. So we'll have to probably even it out at a 7 for comfort. Support features, because they do have that nice angle and everything, it does actually give you quite a bit of arch support. And because of the way that they have the heel counter internally in here and all the lacing and how everything's secured, the support features on these are actually pretty good. You'd be surprised that they give you that kind of arch support. So we'll probably even bump those up for a boot in this tier category, because it's more of a fashion brand. I'll have to give them a 9, honestly. Collectability, there's a huge following for Freebirds, so there's a lot going on for collecting. We're gonna have to give them a 9. I mean, there's the Freebird Flock, I know on Facebook. I don't know how they are on Instagram or anywhere else, but I know on the Facebook group Freebird Flock, they're pretty big out there with that. Showoffability, I mean, they do all sorts of crazy stuff, and I mean, for kind of a tall boot like this with everything that's going on, it's definitely a boot worth showing off. It's not something that you cover up with pants or anything. You're definitely showing off the boot and featuring it, so we'll have to give those a 9 as well. Maintenance gets a little tricky, just because there are some people that are trying to restore the original color or restore them to the factory look. Freebird are supposed to have that kind of worn in look, and quite literally, if you're gonna do what you need to these, and that's just basically condition them and clean them every now and then, or if you're wanting to restore the color, that's going to get tricky. But if you're just going to do what you're supposed to, which is just clean and condition and waterproof, maintenance on them is an easy 9 or 10. So we'll give them a 9, because that one extra point that would make it a 10 is going to be for those of you out there that are trying to restore the color to the factory finish, which is not possible. You're not going to accomplish that. Unless you're a pro in it, you're not going to do it. Okay, don't bother with it. Okay, unless you're Marcus, he's whispering over there. Unless you're me, Marcus can do it. You can't do it. I'm sorry, you can't. Okay, but Marcus can. If you want them restored to the factory finish, you can get them pretty close to that, because they're supposed to have like all those little brown like features and everything like that, and so pretty easy. One thing for the maintenance I will also add, definitely get yourself a pair of boot trees. You can see this one's standing up all nicely, because I actually have it, I'll be honest, it's a broken boot tree. This one's missing a piece on it, but even a broken boot tree will work. Something to keep that shape, to keep it up, because when they start to collapse like this on a shelf all the time, you're eventually going to build up creases, and they may push on certain pressure points that just do not feel comfortable at all. So definitely get yourself a pair of tall boot trees if you've got a pair of tall Freebirds, because that leather is going to want to fold over, and even laying it on its side for storage, if you've got the other boot on top of it, you're compressing certain areas, and you're going to get, again, creases. They're supposed to have that creased look a little bit, but you're going to get these weird creases that may affect the comfort of it as well. Recraftability. Now, recraftability, like we're rating just this pair here. These are not very hard to recraft, because they're constructed to be recraftable. However, if you start getting into some of their other models that are, glued on soles or molded soles, those get a little tricky and a little hard. So we're not going to rate the whole brand altogether, but we'll rate just this boot. And recraftability is an easy, we'll give it even a 10 on that, just because everything can be repaired and fixed on it, from the zippers to the straps, the soles, everything can be redone on it. Price level is very good for a fashion boot that's all leather. It's got that leather liner in there and everything, leather footbeds and all that. They're really nicely priced at about $395 for these ones. Some of them are a little bit higher, some are a little bit less. So I'll probably put them in the mid-level price range for a fashion boot like this. And in my opinion, definitely a cash. I love Freebird. That's why we worked with them for a long time. There are some models we're not too crazy about, but this one's definitely an awesome one. They're Goodyear welted, stitched, and everything like that. So cash for sure. If you want to check out the full Recraft video, check out the link down below.